Welcome to the Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Podcast, where you learn to live a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness. I'm James Swanwick. Welcome to the show. Today we're talking to Ray Kinjo, who is a tongue cancer patient who is almost at 2 years alcohol-free, which is amazing and incredible. And I can't wait for you guys to listen to this inspiring conversation. Ray actually was interviewed by me on the podcast all the way back on March 28th of 2023. And Ray talked through his devastating diagnosis of having tongue cancer. And he talked about the impact on him, his wife, his daughter, and parents. And then how the cancer and his choice to go alcohol-free profoundly shifted his perspective in life. So I guess we'll call this upcoming conversation today part 2 of a 2-part series. Hopefully we have like a 7-part series over the years, Ray. But if you'd like to go back as a listener, scroll all the way back through this episode, Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Podcast, and go to March 28th, 2023. You can listen to Ray talking about his cancer diagnosis and what life was like then. And then that will then put perspective into the conversation we're about to have, which I'm excited to have. And Ray is now, well, I'll let him share the story actually, but let me just give you a little bit more context. Ray is from Orange County, California. He's 42. He's a certified financial planner. And he had his cancer diagnosis in 2021. He had a recurrence in 2023 when he had a big surgery. And so far, as he's about to share us, he's enjoying a cancer-free 2024, despite having a minor reconstruction surgery on his tongue in July. And he has warned us that his speech is a little mumbly because of that. But let's get the conversation going. Ray, so great to spend some time with you again, sir.
Yes, thank you, James. It's been, I guess, about 18 months since we reconnected. So thank you.
Congratulations on having a cancer-free 2024 so far.
Yeah, scans are clean. Anyone who's experienced cancer, these follow-ups, to your oncologists and surgeons are very important. So I've been going every 3 months to, several different doctors. And so far, I'm getting some pretty good news, but still in the thick of things. I still have not gotten you're cured just yet. So I have to wait basically another 3.5 years to really, frankly, another 3.5 years for my life survival rate to be, to have a normal lifespan, basically. So I'm still in the thick of it.
Yeah. How does that feel to know that you still got 3 years of maybe concern or maybe the possibility that it will recur?
Yeah, it doesn't keep me up at night. It's just one of those things where I'm very fortunate to have really good doctors around me, so no, it doesn't bother me at all. Actually, it's almost like it helps me keep me honest. Knowing that I have this kind of loaded gun to my head. It's kind of a morbid way of saying it, but knowing that I'm able to make good, meaningful life choices, including being alcohol free. So it's actually probably helping with my anxiety and my concerns about cancer. So
when you said a loaded gun to your head, reminded me of that 1978 movie, The Deer Hunter, which starred Robert De Niro. And a lot of it is playing Russian roulette with Vietnam War prisoners and, taking the risk of having a loaded gun pointing to your head and pulling the trigger. And the consequences of that in that film, at least depicted in that film, are very different to you feeling to what you're describing, which is it seems like you're having a much more meaningful life and a much more enjoyable life because you have the loaded gun to your head, as opposed to in what was depicted in that film, which is having a loaded gun to your head is life or death and fear and pain and suffering.
yeah, it's quite the opposite. It's I guess it's kind of weird how that happens, but it's knowing that I can get bad news any day now. If I have a slight pain, somewhere in my head and neck, mouth area, my heart skips a beat. It's like, oh gosh. So I go to my doctor right away, and they'll do biopsies right away. Yeah, so it doesn't scare me too much, and it just keeps me honest, really. It keeps me, my main focus is to be a good dad, or be a dad. Being a fatherhood is a priority to me. Also being a husband to me. So this loaded gun is it's not really a bad thing.
Let's go back to before you had the cancer diagnosis, when you were drinking. So before you stopped drinking alcohol and before you realized that you had cancer, were you being a great husband? Were you being a great father?
Yeah, the answer is no. The answer is a big no. It's in hindsight's 2020. So look at my life and my where I'm at now, and I compare that to pre-November 2020 two, right? 2023. Sorry, 2022, right? 2022. I was coming home drunk, blacked out. Fortunately, my daughter was one. Almost a newborn while I was still drinking. My wife would just be irritated when I came home drunk. After golf was the big thing, and all that it's not a thing anymore in my life. So my daughter's 5 now, and fortunately, she's never seen dad drunk before, which is kind of cool. I've always been, never blacked out in front of her. My wives like it quite a bit. We don't fight about being drunk, or why you drinking so much, or it's zero. So it's everyone likes it around me much more.
Yeah, incredible. I'll invite the listener to go back and listen to that episode that we did in 2023, as I referenced earlier, and we can get into more of the specifics. But just generally speaking, what inspired you to stop drinking alcohol and ultimately go through our 90-day stop drinking process, which now seemingly has led to you being almost 2 years alcohol free? Like, what was the catalyst? What was the motivation? What was the low point, or that moment where you went, I got to get some help with this?
Yeah, it was. The hangovers were just getting brutal. The anxiety, waking up. It's pretty typical. Kind of symptoms of, not symptoms, but feelings of just drinking too much. Where the morning you're very anxious. I was thinking about it. Like, I would easily drink 10 beers while I'm golfing. Easily, at least maybe a dozen beers. And then you think about it, it's like drinking a dozen anything is a lot. People don't even drink a dozen water bottles, water cans or whatever. So, in hindsight, it's, yeah, it became very, it, it's, it was becoming a waste of time, If you really think about, like, I was, call it 40 years old, my hangovers are lasting 2 days, maybe even 3 days. You start feeling kind of funny for a couple of days after. Even the process of drinking itself, that takes up several hours in the evenings. And frankly, if you really think about it, if you really, again, in hindsight, you think about the days I was drinking, at least for me, the actual, call it high, or the joy you get from alcohol is literally about maybe 10-15 minutes at the most, where everyone's laughing, everyone's spirits are up. But for me, after that, it's like, okay, all right, what's the next one? Let's go to vodka. Let's go to whiskey. Let's go to wine. Let's go, it was just this never ending cycle where I just got tired of it. But the hangovers are big. I run a business, clients, I have to respond to clients, have to be proactive with clients. I used to, frankly, I hope a client's not listening, but I hope, there's times where I had to reschedule, I canceled appointments because I was hungover. That's not what a professional does, So that was a very bad, symptom that alcohol was getting in the way of a meaningful life.
Yeah. So it sounds like it was definitely affecting you professionally. You weren't showing up for your clients as well as you could have.
Yeah.
And then what was your wife articulating to you when you were in this state?
Yeah, we would definitely get into fights, and some fights I don't even remember. I'll wake up and she's upset, and it's like, oh shoot, I must have said something, blah blah blah. But that's so there's definitely a handful of times that happened. But yeah, my it I almost feel there's a little bit of guilt, James. When I look back on my drinking days. I was at my country club, drinking till 8, 9, 10 p.m., where my wife is taking care of a newborn. I mean, what kind of man in the right mind thinks that's okay? It's not okay to do that, to leave your wife at home when you're out drinking, that's just, so there's fortunately, I was able to quit thanks to you and your group. I was able to, become aware of that very quickly, and stay alcohol free for, in my opinion, the longest, a very long time. But yeah, it just, my wife does not complain about me being away and not being present at all anymore, like zero. It's a non-issue, so it's fantastic.
Yeah. What does she say when she references the earlier drinking version of Ray and the now non-drinking version of Ray?
Yeah, it's night and day. I'm always home. If I'm not, out seeing clients or doing some work or dropping, I'm always home, talking to my wife, having good conversations with her. Marriage can't be better. I'm always constantly prioritizing, little things like picking up my daughter to work, from school and all that stuff. So. Um, I'm able to mentally, physically, emotionally, help out my wife a lot more, to the maximum that I can. Where before you're so limited, you're crippled because of whatever alcohol does for you, to your spirit, to your energy levels, to your anxiety levels, and maybe some people even depression levels. But again, it's just to take that big hairy thing, and just throw it, just make it not part of your life anymore. You know, it's till this day I'm thankful for that. I mean, every single day I wake up and I think to myself, I'm so glad I'm not hungover today. You know, so it's a very long lasting, fantastic feeling.
A lot of folks want to throw it away. They just don't know how to, or they've tried, they can't do it, it's too challenging. I would propose that most people listening to this podcast want to, at the very least, have a better relationship with alcohol. Maybe it's reduce, maybe it's quit. They're looking for something that can support them with that. Why do you feel it is so hard to stop? Like, if you recall back to when you were attempting to moderate or cut back on your own without, let's say, the professional support you ended up getting from Project 90 in our company, why was it so hard? Why do you think it's so hard?
I know exactly why. There's two reasons I think. Number one, it's likely been with us for literally almost all of our lives. Since we're 13, 14, drinking during, middle school to, bars when you graduate high school, even college. It's been socially accepted for such a long time, the majority of our lives, basically. So that's one thing. And the second thing is the more profound kind of what's it called, discovery I had was, life. People who have a poor relationship with alcohol now don't understand, or not don't understand. They haven't yet experienced or given the chance of an alcohol-free lifestyle. They just haven't. They don't know of anything else. Better where there is better. You're more productive. You're making more money. Your marriage is better. I'm getting my pilot's license now. I'm writing a book now. hopefully in a couple of years, I'll have my own airplane. Like it's just my life has changed, completely. And I cannot have done that if I was still drinking. Now, to be in all fairness, yes, my social surroundings has changed. I do not hang out with people who I used to drink with. If I used to drink with them, called it a couple of times a week, I might see them a couple of times a year now, maybe a little bit more than that. But the good news is I'm spending all that extra time that I would with them with my family. So it's just kind of optimizing, life where it's supposed to be, in my opinion. So yeah, it's just those two things. It's so socially accepted, and because it's so socially accepted, and it shouldn't be, that just giving yourself that a minimum 90 days to experience what life is like on the other side. And then you get a taste that, oh my God, this is much better any way you look at it. Any way you look at it, any way you slice it, it's just much better that way.
What did you learn going through our stop drinking 90-day process that really helped you to remain alcohol free? Not just stop drinking alcohol, because quitting and staying quit are two different skill sets. Because anyone can quit, but can you stay quit over many months and years? And you're coming up 2 years alcohol free as we're recording this now. So what did you learn? What was the piece of insight that has enabled it to stick for you?
It's all the experiences and the stories that are shared in the Zoom meetings. Every single, all the, the fantastic, ambitious, people in the group, they'll tell stories about success stories, basically, or they'll go back and they'll give their own interpretation of why they think they have a bad relationship with alcohol. You mind if I tell one story I still distinctly remember, which really changed? You mind if I share that with you, James? I forgot his name. It was a guy from Florida. He said this. He said, I can control my hand reaching the glass of beer. I can control my hand bringing it to my lips. Okay, I can probably even control the beer hitting, my tongue, and maybe even if I really tried to, I can control it, for it to maybe go down my throat. But once it's down there, then things start changing a little bit. You want you want a second one, you want a third one, and so forth. So I was like that. I'm not saying I was this alcohol, full-blown alcoholic or functional alcoholic, nothing like that. But once I heard that story, I basically became aware that I just got to give this up. It's just not. I just shouldn't be drinking. Because maybe I just cannot. I tend to go on this path, every single time, 100% of the time to try to moderate, it didn't work. 100% of the time, and people who are listening probably can, agree that moderation, it can work for a lot of people, but for maybe some personalities, it just does not work. So, stories like that, interpretations of relationship with alcohol like that, is really stuck with me. And then you just carry that with you for the rest of your life. And I know that I'm much better, without, being alcohol free. So it's that community, that like-minded community, that really keeps me alcohol free.
Yeah, nice. And have you intentionally courted new acquaintances or friends who are more health conscious or who are specifically alcohol free, or has that just been a consequence or a welcome benefit of being alcohol free? Like, how have you noticed your social group change as a result of your choice to be alcohol free?
Yeah, before it was like, hey, what's your choice of poison? I like vodka, I like beer. That was kind of like the common denominator. So that's obviously out. Um, so my social, groups have definitely changed, for the better. I'll give you an example. So I'm going through this whole pilot license thing, and then safety is definitely first in aviation. You have to go through all these different checklists and all that. And then you cannot be even hungover when you want to fly an airplane. You have to be really sharp. So that group of people, of airmen, of pilots, that's a community that's they're not alcohol free at all by all means, but I'm able to what's the word? I'm able to yeah, I've exposed myself to that social circle. And another thing like it is terms of, I'm an avid golfer. Before it was automatic. After the round, let's go for a couple pints. Now I'm golfing with people that know I don't drink, or they don't drink either. So afterwards it's like, okay, let's go home, be with our wives. I have to pick up my daughter. Just healthy, very like wholesome stuff. So I prefer that. So your social surroundings will change, but it's for the better. It's definitely not for the worse.
I would imagine the guys that you're learning to get a pilot's license with don't know you as Ray the drinker. They just know you as Ray.
Yeah, they know me as, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. They don't know the dark side of my dark past, I guess.
Yeah, and nor do they have to or need to, right? Like you can actually go and enter any new group of
Yeah,
acquaintances or friends and just be Ray Kinjo.
yeah. And the what I've noticed over time is that I was that guy. I was that guy that I was the one that's drinking a lot, pouring beers for people. Let's get another round. Yeah, I was that guy that was greasing the social just greasing the atmosphere. Um, and now that I'm not that guy, frankly, no one drinks that much around me. So it's actually my friends are probably getting the benefit too, because I'm not that one that's getting everyone hammered. You know, so that was an interesting kind of finding or experience.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that you're alcohol free and now you're writing a book and now you're going after your pilot's license. And I often share with clients, look, if you come and stop drinking with us, this is not a stop drinking program. This is a stop drinking and then go and create what you want to create in your life program. And really, people don't want to stop drinking. They just want to have a great life. And one of the methods to have a great life is to stop drinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like now that you're alcohol free, and I would submit in conjunction with the fact that you've had the cancer diagnosis as well, but you've actually now gone out there and made a conscious choice of how you want your life to go. You are choosing your lifestyle. And that's what, candidly, our podcast and our organization is all about, choosing an alcohol-free lifestyle. It's not about being sober. It's not about being in recovery. It's not about practicing sobriety. It's about choosing the lifestyle that you desire. And at least based on this conversation, what I'm picking up is that you are choosing that lifestyle. It's an alcohol-free lifestyle, but it's also a lifestyle of family, connection, growth, possibly giving back if you're writing a book. Maybe you want to get your message out there. Joy, not sure what your motivation is behind getting a pilot's license. I'd love to know, but that's at least how I'm experiencing it. Does that resonate with you?
That explains your program to a T. It's certainly I think people who've been through your program understand the difference between, I'm sober, quote unquote, and I'm alcohol free. It's very subtle, but there is a difference. You know, being sober or recovery is almost like I'm battling something. Like going against the grain, like using grit to like all that. But an alcohol free version of that is like is is choosing your life. Just like you said it best, James. It's really choosing the way you want to live your life, and you start seeing meaning in things. Just like little simple things like taking your daughter to the park. I didn't do that before. Or going on dates with your wife. In the Japanese culture, they don't really do that, but I have the energy and I want to do that. So it's it's certainly not. It's you don't make it difficult, James. It's not like this. The only weird thing, and I think a lot of people go through it, is the dreams in the beginning. Yeah, the dreams are really weird. They're really intense, but they go away. Anyone who's listening, like if you try and go, the first maybe month or so, there's some really weird dreams.
Tell
But
me
that's
more.
really,
Tell me
it's
more
just,
about your weird dreams, Ray.
yeah, I remember everyone was talking about it in all the Zoom, but I remember like in your dreams, like you forget that you stop drinking and you drink, you know, or you for some reason you're at a party and you're drinking. It's oh my god, I drank, and you feel really bad, but you wake up, it's like oh, this is a dream. And that happened for like a good maybe month into the P90. But that goes away. I don't have those anymore. But that's the only weird like call it pain, or it's not even painful. It's just weird. But your program doesn't make it so you're like, you're not powering through anything. It's basically an educational piece of like-minded individuals, and there's a certain algorithm that there is, and I think you cracked the code. If it wasn't for you, I'd still, who knows? I might be dead with cancer again. I just don't know.
Thank you. And thanks for sharing that. Well, let's have you stick around for a few more years at least, shall we, Ray? Let's have you stick around for another 40 or 50 years, shall we? Hey?
Yeah, that's the idea. I think, yeah, I think my doctor's saying I'm doing fine. Um, I certainly have the will to live. Um, and it's just, yeah, I told my wife a couple days ago saying, in a couple months it'll be 2 years. And she clapped. My daughter who's 5 clapped too, and then it becomes easier and easier. Life becomes better and better. You become the person you need to be. You become you actually start living life, like the actual life as it is. You don't need alcohol. I don't think I'll ever drink again. A couple years ago, I would have never even fathom those words coming out of my mouth. Like not even close. But I just happen to know that that alcohol free is just a better living. It's my parents have noticed that I have more energy. Um, I took over my dad's business, and then so I talked to him about business, and I'm making since literally I don't know if it's because of the alcohol free, but my income has threefold maybe. And I'm working maybe 20 hours a week, you know. So, when you start seeing clearer, if you stop having, this foggy lens in front of you, there's a lot of things in life to enjoy, little things in life too.
Yeah. Congratulations on 3xing your income. And is 20 hours a week half of what it used to be, or considerably less, or how much less time do you think you're now spending in the business?
Considerably less. Before it was at least 40 hours, weekends.
So halved. So you've tripled
yeah.
your income and halved the amount of time it takes to do that. So you
Yeah.
halved your work, you've halved your work hours and tripled your income.
I probably even quartered my hours, meaning, 20 hours on a bad week, you know. Yeah, because I realized, I don't know what it is, but I've attracted really good staff and employees, and so it's becoming a little bit more manageable without me. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So good. Tell us about the book that you're writing, Ray.
Yeah, so it's it has to the main what's it called? A character is my dad. He's created quite an empire for himself as an immigrant, and then I wanted to dive into where does he get that willpower from? That eye of the tiger. You know, a lot of these immigrants are so motivated. You know, and then I really want to dive into his childhood, why he came to America from war-torn Japan, Okinawa to be specific. So I was able to kind of, dive into his background and then figure out why he's so motivated, because, these days we don't see war. There's very little, my dad's generation, if he didn't work, he could not feed his siblings. So it's a very different. So the reason for me writing that book is, I'm gonna definitely talk about my cancer story, but also to basically motivate people that just to share what a work ethic looks like. Yeah.
Incredible. And your pilot's license, how far into it are you? What have you got to go? What's the ultimate goal there?
So I live in Southern California, LA, Orange County, and it's by the year, James. I'm sure you've felt this when you come here. It's just becoming more congested. Freeways, 405, forget about it. So the idea is, instead of driving through traffic, I can fly over all the traffic, and go to meetings. There's little restaurants and cafes I can meet at small little municipal airports with my clients. For example, for someone that lives in Orange County to go to Santa Barbara for the weekend, you really have to fight traffic on a Friday, to the point where you don't even go because of the traffic, But if you're able to have if you can just fly over it, no airports, just get in your little Cessna, and then just be free, and just do whatever you want.
I love that. Be free and just take your little Cessna. To be clear, would you rent a Cessna, or would you buy your own? How does that look? And and tell me a little bit about the financial cost of either buying one or renting one. I'm sure people are interested.
Yeah, it's but before, real quick, I don't know if anyone's been on a smaller airplane, or even been a pilot in one, but every single time I take off and get up there, every single time, I almost pinch myself. I think I cannot believe a human being is able to have this experience. It happens every single time. It's amazing. Seeing the 405 from, call it 1,500 feet in the air, within seconds, all of a sudden you're next to, Catalina comes up next to you. All of a sudden, like, you're in San Diego. It's just a really, it's just a beautiful thing. It's very, very, very beautiful. In the beginning, I'll be renting, just because I have to get my, just what type of aircraft I want. I have to look into it, build my hours a little bit. And then if I want to buy one, believe it or not, they're about maybe $150,000. Maybe it's no different than an expensive car,
Wow.
And there's banks that are willing to finance you if you need to. Insurance is not even that expensive, you know. Tie-down fees at my municipal airport is literally like $50 a month.
Are you
You know?
serious? So you can buy a
Yeah,
plane for 150 grand and then only pay $50 a month to have it stored there.
yeah. It's not a hangar. You're basically tied down, so you're out
Yeah,
in the open. Yeah, but it's
$50 a
really.
month. That's it. Wow. And then how much does it cost to put fuel in the thing for each trip?
Oh, I don't know. I'm still. I think it's not practical. Let's put it that way. Financially, it's not practical. Like if you know let's just say it costs $50 in fuel to go to Santa Barbara from Orange County. Let's just say
Yeah.
it's going to cost several $100 on a plane. You know, for fuel, but it's not financially practical. But
So the
it's
cost of the fuel is what adds up in the ongoing costs. Well, after you've made that initial investment of buying the plane, the biggest expense thereafter is the fuel to get places.
fuel is actually probably it's a maintenance of it. You know, you have to
Yeah.
you maintain the you have engine upkeep and all that.
Yeah.
So
But you know what?
that's what.
Here's how I look at it. I'm just going to insert my opinion into the conversation. I'm like, you said you feel free when you're up there doing it.
Yep.
Alcohol-free lifestyle. It gives you joy. It gives you pleasure.
Yep.
You got the financial means, it sounds like.
Getting there. Yeah.
You're getting the financial means. Like, who cares? I mean, if you got the financial means, and even if it makes no financial sense, I would submit it makes lifestyle sense.
Yeah.
It makes life sense. It makes freedom sense. I hope my listeners are agreeing with me. They're probably going, no, don't do that. That's a terrible investment. I think it's a wonderful investment, the way that you just put that out. And as well, if you're going to fly to let's say a prospective client in Santa Barbara, maybe you spend $500 in fuel to get there, but then the client becomes a client for 2 or 3 years. You generate $100,000 or tens of thousands of dollars from it. It's a worthy expense, right? And then I would imagine it's a business write-off. You know, like
You
your
can.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. We've got tax advice now on the Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Show. Oh, I love it. I'm so excited
Yeah.
for you, Ray.
Thank you. Yeah. Again, this is all this new adventure and all that. It's because alcohol is just not part of my life. It really is. That's the root of this transformation that happened November of 2022. So yeah.
Yeah, incredible. Now we just got to get cancer out of your life full time, right? Just as we wrap up here and head for home, what's the latest with your cancer? Just give us an overview of what's happened, where you are as we're recording this today, and where you hope it'll go in the coming years.
Yeah, so 2021, I was diagnosed with stage 3 tongue cancer. Stage 3 meaning it spread to my lymph nodes in my neck. And because of that, I went through radiation, some moderately aggressive radiation in 2021. I have lifelong effects of the radiation still. Like I need, I can't create my own saliva anymore, to say the least. There's a bunch of other stuff, but, and then fast forward a year, and then I had a recurrence, and then I had a really big surgery to take out that tumor. And then that was last year, and then I've been enjoying a cancer-free lifestyle for 2024. I had a minor reconstruction of my tongue, hence the reason I sound a little mumbly in July. They took a little bit of tissue from my thigh to slowly reconstruct my tongue, so I can speak better. The mobility of my tongue's better, and once I'm in the clear, meaning 5 years have passed, my surgeons and oncologists think I'm clear. Then I'll probably do a full-blown reconstruction where I take, whatever you call it, like muscle from my thigh, or the actual, not just a graft. but to do a full reconstruction. So, and after that, I'm expected to have a full normal lifespan. So.
A full normal lifespan, flying from Orange County to Santa Barbara just to go and meet with clients for coffee. That's what I want for you.
Yeah, it's like I wake up on a Saturday, if it's nice out, I say, hey, family, let's go grab lunch in Napa. It's a very doable thing, and then, yeah, it's a little expensive, but like you said, it's just really fun, it's just really, really fun, like, everyone has a stressful job, especially your clients, because they're high earners. But once you get in that cockpit, all the stress just goes away. You have to look at all these gauges. You have to talk to ATC. You're talking to ground. You're talking to everything. Like, you're looking for traffic, and it's just it's an amazing experience.
Beautiful. Well, Ray, thank you so much for spending some more time with us today. I really appreciate it, and thanks for giving us such an inspiring update. And you truly are living an alcohol-free lifestyle and living your best life, even with the challenges that you have. And so for that, I really acknowledge you, sir. And thanks for providing inspiration, I'm sure, to our listeners here today.
James, I could not have done it without you and your team. Anyone who's listening, if there's any hesitation, feel free to give me a call. I'll be, I can be a reference, but thank you. And how's Victoria, by the way?
Coach Victoria, you're referencing. Yeah, Coach Victoria English is amazing. We were just in Denver at our half-yearly meetup.
Good.
In mid-August there. We had some of our boardroom clients. We have a program now of people who have gone at least a year alcohol-free who are in our community, and we all get together and do fun things. We climbed up a glacier in Denver, in the outskirts of Denver, and we do all lots of kind of beautiful things. We had speakers, and she's doing great. And the Project 90 community is really thriving. We've got so many new members, and people are having breakthroughs, much like you have as well. So yeah, it's going well. Thank you.
Good. Well, keep up the good work. Again, it's I owe this transformation to you and your team, James. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Ray Kinjo, thanks very much for spending time with us. And to you, the listener, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you.